The Amazing Spider-Man, issue number 32. Man on a Rampage.
My experiments are almost complete. I am close to the mastery of lingering radiation. And still, my secret is safe. No one knows who the master planner really is. It was radiation that changed my entire life, that caused me to become what I am today. And thanks to radiation, the world will soon again be menaced by Dr. Octopus, one of the most powerful, most feared human beings alive. And if I can learn to control radiation, there is no limit to the additional powers I could gain for myself and for any others I may choose. Attention, Deputy Squad Leader, this is the Master Planner. Have your men continue the search for any and all atomic equipment for me.
Yes, sir. We will continue until you issue new orders. Over and out.
While on the surface, as Peter Parker walks through the press room of the Daily Bugle.
I was hoping Peter would show up. I simply have to speak to him. Peter, wait a moment. I want to talk to you. He's trying to pretend he didn't hear me, but I won't let him. Peter Parker, you can't keep avoiding me that way, as though we're no more than strangers.
I hoped she'd be out to lunch. I didn't want to face her.
You must tell me what's wrong. What have I said or done?
How can I tell her the truth? She thinks she loves me, but if she ever found out I'm Spider-Man, she'd drop me like a hot potato.
And then, Ned Leeds, the young reporter who has asked Betty Brant to marry him, enters the scene.
Peter, you're not being fair to Betty. She deserves an answer from you.
Ned, please don't interfere.
Now's my chance to make her angry at me. Butt out, creep. I don't owe Betty anything. We had a few laughs together, that's all. Maybe I've outgrown her.
Peter!
What's gotten into you, fella? You sound different. It's easy for him to be calm. He doesn't love a girl who'd hate him if she learned about his secret identity. I've got to make her hate me. A clean break is the best thing for all of us. Look, Parker, why don't we talk this over? Calmly. Hands off, Leeds. I've more important things to do. But you know how I feel about Betty. If you're not interested, why don't you just say so? And, I'm sick of people trying to tell me what to do. Now get lost.
Peter, stop it.
And on the other side of the door, we find...
What in blazes is going on out there? Sorry, Mr. Jameson. I guess I just got carried away. Parker, I'd never thought of you as the violent type. What are you doing here anyway? I, brought you some news photos. That's that. Betty must despise me now, never knowing how much I really love her, or how much tougher this is for me. After all, she'll probably end up marrying Ned and forget about me. But I'll carry a torch. Forever. All right, let's see the photos. You call these news photos? Just a few shots of some strikers picketing a department store. You're slipping, Parker. I know it. With Aunt May in the hospital, I haven't been able to do anything right. I can't use them. Don't waste my time unless you have something good. You old skinflint, you've forgotten all the great exclusives I gave you in the past. Don't just stand there. This isn't Visitor's Day. Goodbye.
But as the anguished youth turns to leave,
Your little routine didn't fool me one bit, Peter Parker. I know you too well not to realize you're just putting on an act for my benefit.
Think what you want to. It's your privilege.
Peter, listen. Whatever is bothering you, why won't you tell me? Perhaps we can work it out together.
Sure, I can see her working out the fact that I happen to be Spider-Man. Forget it. Nothing's bothering me. I'm happy as a lark. Maybe it would make me feel better to tell her the truth about me, but I'd be sure to lose her anyway, and then she'd be burdened with my secret also. I love her too much to give her that extra worry.
Have I been wrong about him? Can it be that he doesn't care for me?
But even his tortured thoughts of Betty Brant are driven from his mind as Peter reaches the hospital where Aunt May is on the critical list.
She's too weak to receive visitors now, Mr. Parker, but the doctor left word he'd like to see you.
He would? Oh, sure. I'll go at once. He must have her reports back.
And so...
Yes, son, we know what's wrong with your aunt, but it's still a very puzzling case.
Why, sir? What's so puzzling about it?
We cannot understand what caused the malady. In some mysterious way, Mrs. Parker absorbed a radioactive particle into her blood and were unable to get it out.
Radioactivity in her bloodstream? It must be my fault. I'm the one responsible. It must have happened that time she needed a blood transfusion, and I donated my blood. Some of the very radioactivity which transformed me to Spider-Man must have gotten into her bloodstream. Only in her case, it's proving harmful.
We don't really know how to control it, son, but rest assured, we'll do everything we can, although I cannot hold out much hope.
Thanks, Doctor. I appreciate your leveling with me.
All the way home, the heavy-hearted teenager fights to keep control, but when the door shuts behind him at last...
I've always felt I was partly responsible for the death of Uncle Ben because he was killed by a criminal whom I didn't catch. And now, Aunt May, the two people I've loved most in the world, who were like my own father and mother to me. Yet their love for me, their kindness to me, has brought them nothing but tragedy. But it can't happen again! It mustn't! It mustn't! Not to Aunt May! She's been too good, too kind! I can't pay her back like this! There must be some way to save her! There must be! Somewhere, somehow, I'll find it! No matter what the cost, I'll save her! There's one man who might help. Dr. Connors. He's a specialist in this field. If only I can reach him. The last I remember, he was still in Florida.
Phone call follows phone call in a frantic, frenzied series until...
What's that? He moved. But you have a forwarding address. What is it? Every minute counts. In New York. Where?
Later, at the hospital lab.
There is what I'm after. Connors can't help me without it. Got it. The test tube containing Aunt May's blood sample. Now to rush it to Dr. Connors as fast as possible.
And after a dazzling, spider-swift journey over the city's rooftops.
Dr. Connors, I need your help. Do you remember me? Spider-Man. How could I ever forget you? Without your aid, I'd still be a creature of the swamps, feared and hunted by my fellow men. Ask me anything. If it's within my power, I'll do it for you. A friend of mine has been stricken with radioactivity of the blood. Do you remember the research which gave you lizard characteristics? Could you use that knowledge to help my friend? I cannot promise you success. There is still so much science doesn't know. But you'll try? Of course I will. I've read of a new serum created on the West Coast called ISO 36. If it is as potent as claimed, it might help us greatly. Then order it. You must leave no stone unturned. Don't worry about the cost. I'll return with enough expense money. Very well. I'll phone the coast and try to obtain some immediately. I won't fail you, Spider-Man.
Minutes later.
This is everything I own that might be of value. All the scientific equipment I've worked so hard to buy. But if it'll help save Aunt May, it's worth it.
You mean you want to pawn all these things? Your microscope? Lab analysis material?
Everything. I need all the money I can get.
He doesn't look like the type who'd get into heavy debt, but you never can tell.
This, plus the money I took from the bank, ought to be enough for Connors.
And so...
I've got the money. Were you able to order the ISO 36? Yes, it's being flown out here on a special shipment. All they had in stock. Now, let me help you with the laboratory part of your work. I know there's a lot of preparation needed for when the serum arrives. You handle that apparatus like a pro. I suspect you're not a full-time Spider-Man. Well, I've had some little training in your science, but it's going to take your skill to save my friend. With luck, when the serum arrives, we might be able to neutralize or eliminate the blood deterioration. What if it doesn't work? Do you know of any other alternatives? Or is this our only hope? Let's not think of that now. We've got to see that it does work. I hope the serum reaches us soon.
Meanwhile, at the hidden headquarters of Dr. Octopus, alias the Master Planner.
Good news. We just learned of a shipment of ISO 36 arriving from the West Coast. It's just the thing I need to carry out my research. What a stroke of luck. Use every available man. Don't let anything stop you. I must have that serum. Everything is arranged. We will not fail. I heard of ISO 36 some months ago, when it was merely in the development stage. It could be the one vital key to my experiments, and fate is placing it within my grasp.
Later that day, after the landing of a cross-country jet.
Dr. Connors must want this serum pretty bad to pay such a high premium price for its delivery.
We'll take that.
Good work. I got it. Now let's get out of here while we can. No, no. Come back. You mustn't.
Seconds later, at the laboratory of Dr. Connors.
What's that? The serum. Stolen at the airport. You say the description fits the Master Planner's gang. He got the serum? Don't stop your preliminary experimenting. I'll be back with the serum. This time the Master Planner has gone too far. Wherever he is, whoever he is, I'll get him. My money's on you, mister. Good luck. Each of my last two battles with the Planner's gang were in the vicinity of the waterfront, so his hideout must be somewhere in that area. But I can't spare the time to search that whole neighborhood. It could take days. I've got to find a quicker way. And I just thought of one.
Oh!
I didn't mean to frighten Betty, but I can't stop now. Don't be alarmed. I'm looking for Frederick Foswell.
Yeah. He just left. Only a few minutes ago. But
Then, if I race back to the street, I might spot him. Many thanks, Miss Brandt. When I see her that way, so fragile, so helpless, how I long to take her in my arms. But this is no time to think of Betty. There's the one I'm after. Let yourself go limp. Don't tense up. You're in no danger. I won't harm you.
Spider-Man? In broad daylight?
Even though I fought you years ago when you were a gang boss, you've nothing to fear from me now, since you've gone legit as a reporter for the Bugle. But I'm after the Master Planner, and you probably still have some underworld contacts that might know where to find him. Help me, and I'll give you a scoop when I've nabbed him. Remember, I can be a good friend or a bad enemy. The choice is yours. I'll contact you later. But this is only the beginning. I'm not gonna twiddle my thumbs waiting for Foswell to learn something.
And in the hours that follow, the amazing crime buster invades every underworld haunt he can find.
I want info on the Master Planner, and I want it now.
It's Spider-Man. Get him.
I haven't time to waste on you here. Talk, and talk fast. Look out, he's fighting mad. You bet I am. And I'll find out what I want to know if I have to tear this place apart.
But as the hours wear on, the answer is always the same.
Honest, we don't know where he is. Only his own gang knows his hideout.
He's telling the truth. He's too scared to lie. But I don't dare give up. I must get that serum.
Meanwhile, at the hospital,
I was afraid of this. She's getting weaker, slipping into a coma, and there is nothing more that we can do for her. She is putting up a valiant fight. She has a tremendous will to live. But now, her fate is in the hands of a power far greater than ours.
and in another part of the city, Spider-Man carries on the fight as only he can.
A hot car ring. Maybe they know something about the Master Planner.
It's Spider-Man. Let's get out of here.
I heard that he's been tearing up the city lately, but why? Hold it. Nobody leaves until I say so. That means nobody.
He ripped out the whole blamed staircase.
Get back down there. I've got some questions, and you better have the answers. And drop those guns before I really get mad. I'm through treating you punks with kid gloves.
Maybe we do like he says. I hear you talking, Charlie.
But after long minutes of relentless questioning,
It's no use. These dime a dozen crooks don't know any more about the Master Planner than I do.
while in his lab, Dr. Connors does some soul-searching of his own.
Even if Spider-Man does bring me the serum, we still can't be sure it will be successful. There's no way of knowing whether it will assimilate with my own potion until we try it.
And so, the seconds fatefully tick by until...
Blast it! Another blind alley! This place is deserted! I'm rapidly running out of places to search. No, wait! My spider sense is reacting to something. Something under the floor has caused the reaction. It might be a trap door. It is! I can sense the release mechanism. Voices! There's somebody below me. What have I stumbled onto this time?
And then, the elated web spinner sees...
The Master Planner's men! I've found them!
Look up, above.
It's Spider-Man! You're the ones who stole the ISO 36! Where is it? Where is the serum?
The man has gone mad.
What do you want the serum for?
What's the difference? He'll never get out if you're alive anyway.
You brainless fools! Do you think any number of you can stop me now? I'll get that serum if I have to take this whole place apart! And you with it!
Rush 'em together. We've got to stop him.
But Despite the overwhelming odds against him, Spider-Man's incredible agility serves him in good stead, time and again.
Where'd he go?
He was here a second ago.
One thing about the Planner's men, they don't give up easy. But no matter how many they are, how hard they fight, I'm more than a match for all of them.
We need help. He's too strong, too fast. What'll we do?
Reinforcements! One of them just came out of that hidden door. Very interesting. That might be where they've stashed away the serum. I've got to get inside before the door closes again. Just made it.
But just outside the door,
Spider-Man is on his way through the secret tunnel, searching for our stolen serum. Good. I couldn't have planned it better if I tried. A stroke of blind luck has given me the chance to dispose of Spider-Man forever. And the vial of ISO 36 will serve as bait in the little trap I shall set for him.
silently, stealthily, Spidey gets closer and closer to the hidden undersea edifice until...
The end of the tunnel! What will I find in that building beyond? The Master Planner must have been warned of my coming, but my spider sense detects no one nearby. Anyway, I can't stop now. A spotlight, shining on that vial. It must be the stolen ISO 36. But it looks too tempting, too easy. It must be a trap.
Then, suddenly, unexpectedly, a sharp, high-voltage electric shock hits the spider-powered Crusader with staggering force.
Ugh! Everything's spinning. Can't hold on. Falling.
But before the dazed, stricken youth can reach the ground, a hidden door slides open as 4 super-powerful living tentacles lash out.
So, Spider-Man, we meet again, but this time, alas, it shall be our final encounter. Never again will you interfere with the plans of those who are your superior.
Dr. Octopus, then it's you who are the Master Planner, one of my strongest foes, and yet I must defeat him for the sake of Aunt May.
Still governed by a fit of fighting, raging fury, Spider-Man uses his uncanny adhesive power to grip the floor as he does a sudden flip-over.
I've beaten you in the past, and I'll do it again, no matter what you call yourself now.
You arrogant fool! You're fighting on my terms now. You haven't a chance here against me.
We'll see about that. I knew he'd have to release his grip on me in order to use his arms to save himself. I should have suspected that he'd be the Master Planner, since all his crimes dealt with the theft of atomic and radioactive material. So you're lashing out at me with your arms again? Good, it's just what I expected you to do.
You're bluffing. There's no way you can cope with my flexible, clutching arms.
Ugh, keep talking, big man, and I'll just practice a little knot tying while you do. He's too strong. He'll free himself in seconds, but at least I gain some breathing time. And I've made him lose the advantage of surprise.
Then, after Doc Ock has freed himself as Spidey predicted,
I never saw him fight like that. He's like a tiger.
I've got to keep him using his arms to protect himself. If you expect to wrap those tin tentacles of yours around me again, forget it. I'm calling the tune from here on in. He must be beaten quickly, decisively, so I can get the serum to Connors in time.
There's no way to fight him, no way to stop him. He's like a raging human dreadnought. I've got to escape.
You're not getting away. That serum will be mine, and you're my safe passage out of here.
You toppled the main support beam. The cast iron upper level units are collapsing.
He's right.
Everything's falling on top of us. We'll all be killed.
No, not now. I've got to survive. I've got to bring that serum to Connors.
Seconds later, after the reverberations have ceased in the vast rubble-filled chamber.
I can't see Doc Ock. I don't know what happened to him. Everything is so quiet, so still. I've got to get out now. No bones seem to be broken.
But then, the wary youth hears an ominous rumble above him as he turns his head and sees
The largest iron unit of all, beginning to slide down towards me. It must outweigh a locomotive. I'll be crushed. I can't stop it, but maybe I can slow it down with my webbing. It's no use. It's like trying to stop a battleship with a slingshot. I can't get out of the way in time. But by twisting and turning carefully, I might place myself under that small hollowed out area. I did it! I saved myself from being crushed. But even with my great strength, I can't lift this thing off me. I see the vial of serum just ahead of me, but it might as well be on another planet. I can't reach it from here, and even if I could, what good would it do? I can't bear the thought of failing Aunt May, the way I once failed Uncle Ben. Wait, what's that? Drops of water falling from the ceiling. It's a slow leak, but it's getting faster. Each drop seems to be getting bigger. If it doesn't stop, the whole river will come surging through. I can't just stay here and wait for the end. I've got to try to get free. If I could only lift this weight off me, but I can't budge it. Not an inch. It's no use. I'm too exhausted. I've been on the go for days. Perhaps if I rest for a while.
And while the costumed teenager fumes at his seemingly hopeless predicament, May Parker slowly sinks deeper and deeper into her coma, one faint word softly crossing her lips.
Peter.
While, directly across town, another man silently waits and wonders.
If he doesn't return soon, it will be too late. The ISO 36 will lose its potency.
As many fathoms beneath the surface of the sea.
Spider-Man hasn't a chance of beating the Master Planner.
And even if he did, he'll still have to get past us in order to escape.
But behind the bolted door, unsuspected by the masked criminals, Spider-Man fumes in helpless rage as the drops of water fall ever faster, ever larger, faster, larger, faster, larger.
I've failed. Just now, when it counted the most. I've failed.
Wherever you go, whatever you do, whatever befalls, this we say to you. You must not miss the next issue of Spider-Man. And now, till that glorious moment when you hold the next month's copy in your eager hands, we wish you, one and all, happy web slinging. The end.